At the weekend, Leicester City are coming to Old Trafford in the hope of winning the Premier League title for the first time ever, and also in what will be one of the maddest things of all time, probably. So we've got Housen Sadiksha and Adam McCullough to discuss all things Leicester City at the weekend. Do we ignore all the Leicester fanfare, guys, and focus on the fact that losing this game means we lose the Premier League title to another team at Old Trafford, and it probably kills our hopes of making the Champions League? So do we have to try and ignore all that and just focus on winning this game of football? Adam?
We cannot let them celebrate the title at Old Trafford. Please, God, no way. That can't happen. So, and plus we need the victory. As things stand, if there's a winner in the game at the Etihad between Man City and Arsenal, and we win all our games, we finish in the top four. So the job there is simple for us, win all of our games. So we have to win it. And I actually feel quite confident, which scares me a little bit. But obviously without Vardy, they are going to be lacking a little bit up front, although they do have threats from other areas of the park. But we have to beat them. We cannot let them celebrate the title at Old Trafford. I know everyone's saying, it's going to be great for Leicester City to win the league and all that. But we're going to have their fans singing all sorts at Old Trafford. So if we can just shut them up for that one game, that'll be nice at least.
Okay, so Diksha, how do you feel?
Yeah, like most football fans, I have absolutely enjoyed their story. All season I've been, if not us, then I want them to win it. But I think their celebrations can wait a week. The only team I want winning at Old Trafford is obviously us. And then, what will be a better story if they win it at Everton in front of their fan the following week, and then Ranieri gets a guard of honor at the bridge. I think that's a better storyline. So we should be able to stop it. Yep.
Okay, Housen, what do you think?
There's only one team that needs to be winning at weekend. Like Adam said, our top four chance goes out the window if we don't pick up. I think we can still do it if we get a point. We can absolutely not do it if we lose. So we need to be winning this game. And we've had a good record at home as well. They are going to be different than they would have been with Vardy, but Joe is still a threat. They still got Mahrez. I'm pleased for Leicester. Out of all the other teams that could have won it this year, Chelsea could have retained it, City could have won it and should have probably won it. Arsenal was their best chance of winning it in 12 years, and they bottled it. So out of all the teams that could have won it, it hurts us less for someone like Leicester to win it, and it's also good for football that Leicester win it. And a team with no budget, come from nowhere, and shown the rest of the league that attacking, exciting, brave football can go on and do something, but not this weekend.
Okay, Adam, Marouane Fellaini, a man much criticised, seems a man reborn in the last few games. He's been vital in our FA Cup performances. What do you think? There's pictures of him watching Roma and Napoli. How important do you think he is to Manchester United, and how important he is to the rest of this season?
He seems to be one of those players that Louis van Gaal has looked to when we've had big games and stuff, and he always seems to get him to do a certain job. What I feel, we haven't played Fellaini to his limited strengths whenever we have played him. Obviously, recently he's been part of a midfield three. He's battled a lot. He's scored a few crucial goals, especially in the FA Cup, and he's warranted his place in the team. That's why I was a bit wary of criticising his team selection when he was selected for the semi-final. Although I would have picked Schneiderlin and Herrera ahead of him, he did warrant a start for his performance against West Ham. If Roma are interested in him, is it Roma or Lazio?
I think it's Roma.
Roma.
If Roma are interested in him, and he did leave, I wouldn't be that bothered by it, because I do think he's a player that I don't want to see in the starting lineup week in, week out, because when you play with Fellaini, you play a certain style of football, and I don't think United should be trying to do that. I think we should be trying to build our midfield around Schneiderlin and Herrera, and possibly even Timothy Fosu-Mensah as well. But yeah, if he leaves, thanks and see you later. I don't think he deserves a lot of the disrespect that he gets, but he gets that because United a lot of fans are frustrated with the way we play football, and he's one of the players that seem to epitomise that.
Okay. Who else wants to weigh in?
I'll go. Let me go.
That was my fault. I should have just said somebody, shouldn't I?
Right. The issue that a lot of people have with Fellaini is people overhype his good performances, and a lot of people overhype his poor performances. For me, I've always just said he's not a starter for United. He's a good plan B. But people go, I have an agenda against Fellaini or Mac has an agenda against Fellaini. We don't. We just think there's better at the club. And it's as simple as that. Stop overhyping his poor performances. Stop overhyping his good performances. He's just a decent squad player and he shouldn't be starting games for us if everything's going right in the team. And that's the truth.
Okay, so Diksha, you get the final say on Marouane Fellaini. Because,
I completely agree with the both of them. I think I don't blame Fellaini 100% for, how it's been this season. I blame LVG more because I feel like he's not playing Fellaini to his strength. Like if you look at the last game when we had Rooney and Carrick in midfield and Fellaini was like, free to move around in the box and do what he does best. He did excellent. He scored a goal. He was like running up and down the pitch. And I think that's the position that suits him the most. So, I mean, I'm quite indifferent about him staying or leaving. What I do have a strong opinion about is like him starting. So, I wouldn't mind him staying at United and being a squad player because, we need players like him in like plan B situations. But I absolutely would not want to see him starting week in and week out.
Would you start him against Leicester? What would be your starting 11?
No, I would not start him. I quite like the formation we played in the last game. So I think I would go with 4-1-4-1, whatever you want to call it. So David De Gea in goal, obviously. This is a team which is, I think, a little bit different than what LVG would pick. So I'm just like giving you what I want to see instead of what I think LVG would do. So at right back, I still want to see Timothy Fosu-Mensah play there. I know he didn't have a great game, but I think it will do him more harm if we drop him, for after a performance like that. So I still think that he can do a great job at right back. So I want to see him. I would go with Smalling and Blind at centre backs, and then I want to see Darmian at left back. I'm not a huge fan of Rojo. I don't think he has done anything, in the games that he has started. So I would rather see Darmian play in place of him. And then in front of them, I would want Morgan Schneiderlin starting. And then right in front of him, I would want Rooney and Herrera with Jesse and Martial on either side. And then Rashford up front.
Okay. Howson, what are you doing to play Leicester?
Not far off that, in all honesty. Big Dave in net. Right back. I'm torn on Tony Valencia and Varela. And I'm going to go with Varela for the reason that I like how Leicester attack with pace, and even though Tony Valencia is the fastest player in the world, I think agility-wise, lateral movement-wise, he's not the greatest. I think he's straight line fast rather than agile fast. So I think Varela being a little bit shorter and a little bit nimble, more nimble-footed, I think Varela would be the better option at right back. It's going to be Smalling and Blind, so let's not even bother trying to pick anybody else there. And then left back, I've also debated whether I want to go with the attacking threat that Cameron Borthwick-Jackson can offer, or if I want to go with the defensive sturdiness that Darmian can offer, and I'm going to go with Darmian. I'm going to go with Schneiderlin as a single pivot, and again I want to see Herrera and Rooney because Rooney's looked excellent in that 8 or 10 role at the moment. You can't drop him, but I do want to see Herrera brought in over Fellaini because I think we will play better football with him. Then on the right hand side I want to see Memphis because Memphis is a right-footed player, and I think the way we deploy him on the left limits him, and I think give him a chance on the right and you're going to see a hell of a footballer. Marshall on the left, Rashford up front.
Okay, thank you. Adam, what are you doing?
I agree. I had the same as Sadiq's back five. So Fosu, Darmian, Smalling, Blind. Same midfield three as both. And I had Memphis in my team. So the same attack as Howson as well. So not far off both teams. I'd like to see Memphis start because I'm a big fan of his. I don't think he gets enough starts. I don't think he's been good enough as well at times, but I do think he's shown his potential. And I think the best way to get the best out of him is to show him a bit of confidence, show him that, you're going to play the next 2 or 3 games. You're going to be given minutes to impress because he just doesn't look like he has any confidence. And I think Memphis is one of those players that you need to stick your arm around and just say, we got you, just play your football, get your head down and play your football, relax. And if he does that, I think we'll get the best out of him. I like Memphis. I think he's one of the best young players at our club, and it'd be stupid to let him go in the summer. So I want to see him starting playing games. And I think Memphis, Rashford and Marshall could be a handful for anybody.
Okay. Adam, while I've got you, Leicester City, what are your concerns? Obviously, they've got the PFA Player of the Year. Do we need to worry beyond Mahrez, or is he the main source of problem?
Well, Mahrez, deservedly Player of the Year. I think he's been I think he's been their best player. I think he's been the league's best player. And I think he's brought the best out of James Vardy as well. I think obviously he's played well, but I think he wouldn't have played as well without someone like Mahrez pulling the strings behind him.
Yeah.
But apart from Mahrez, we have to look at Danny Drinkwater and Kante. Danny Drinkwater will come to Old Trafford with a point to prove. Obviously, he didn't ever get... I don't think he got a first-team game at United. I don't think he was ever given that opportunity. So he'll come to United with a point to prove. Kante is a strong midfielder as well. I think if we can win that battle, and that's why I think Schneidlin, Herrera and Rooney is the best fit, because I can see Fellaini giving a lot of free kicks away against the likes of Kante and Drinkwater. And then they can obviously hurt us from those with the threats of Hoof in the box. Hoof has been excellent for them this season, and I think he deserves a Premier League medal as much as anybody this season because of how good he has been. But yeah, hoping no Vardy, no title party, and United delay the party for another week.
Okay. Howson, lots of focus on Leicester's physical game recently, the likes of Wes Morgan, Robert Huth getting hold of people. Do you think that's something we should be worried about? Are we okay?
No, because even though Marcus Rashford's about 9 stone soaking wet, I actually think that his main attribute is his strength for such a small lad. He's got phenomenal upper body strength for his size, and I think his pace obviously is his biggest attribute, but also his determination. I don't think it's an issue. They are very physical, and it's more Kante, I think. I think Kante is probably the guy that makes this team tick more. I think your Vardis and your Mahrez are adding all the sparkles and glitter and that on the top, but without Kante, there's no foundation for this team. He is the main player for this team, and I don't want to see Fellaini up against him because he'll be fouling him all day because he's faster than him. He is more physical than him, and he will be a nightmare, and how we dictate him will be how we win this game, whether we put Rooney and Schneidlin on him and close him off, stop him running, stop him getting the outlet out to the wings. If we do that, then we'll be fine. But yeah, this is going to be a good old-fashioned game of football, I think. Good old English style of football this weekend.
Okay, so Diksha, anything else you want to add about Leicester?
Yeah, I think I agree with both of them. I think the battle is to be won in the midfield, and I think how we handle Kante is going to have a big impact on this game. I also wanted to add, I know Stephen talked about it a little bit earlier, about how Ujoa has come into this team. So, last week I was watching their game against Swansea, and I was like, okay, there is no Vardy, so they might struggle to get goals, but he actually played really well. He scored 2 goals, and those goals were, proper goals. So we might have to, keep a mind on him, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be okay with this.
Score prediction?
I think it's going to be one of those high-scoring games. I don't know. I just have a feeling. So
Have you seen any games at Old Trafford this year? What?
I know.
What's that? 2-1?
Well, a little more than that. That's how I want it to go. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to predict a crazy 3-2 with us nicking a winner.
Okay. Big Mac, what do you reckon?
I think all the pressure's on Leicester City, They come here, their fans will be expecting to win the league at Old Trafford. The way everything's gone for them, I think the pressure's on them, and obviously it's been on them all season as well. We've been expecting them to crack, so It's a hard one to call, but I'm feeling confident. I'm going to say 2-0 to United.
Okay,
Is that stupid?
I don't think we're going to clean sheet against them.
No, we can. This is the thing, we can.
We can. We could also win 7-0, but we won't. So I'm going to say, I think it's going to be 1-1.
All right, It's less exciting. I'm going 1-0. Why not? Staying positive, but still slightly negative.
Didn't we play 3-5-2 against them at the King Power when we drew 1-1?
No, didn't we play 3-5-2 when they did 5-3?
I mean, let's not talk about that, guys. Come on.
Let's not.
Let's not do that. So we'll leave it there. Let us know what you think about Leicester City, Marouane Fellaini, and our hopes for the Champions League this season. Get it in the comments below. Subscribe to Full Time Devils, and have a wonderful life. Goodbye. Bye. Has there ever been a more divisive footballer than Wayne Rooney? On the one hand, incredibly successful, but on the other, never really brought into the hearts of Manchester United fans. Let's talk about it. He is, at the time of recording, England's all-time leading goal scorer. He's Manchester United's second